Share two groups. Give me 1 second. Hello, everybody. Okay. Facebook gave me a setting that I wanted to fix. It likes to pop things up right when I'm in the middle of stuff. Okay. So, this is day 2 of the 5-day series that I'm going to be doing for you on your weight loss and health goals. Again, this is day 2. So, I'll be doing this on my personal profile. Um, Today is going to be about your brain is a liar. And I am Erica Goldschin with EG Body and Mind Transformations. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Okay, so yesterday, actually, let me go through and tell you what's been happening here. Let me kind of scroll up here. So, yesterday was the stop with the diet pills and powders already. So, there's a really detailed reason on why you want to stop that. Um, Obviously, I'm not going to get into that now, but it's on replay on my profile. Today is Your Brain is a Liar. Then it's Myths of Weight Loss, Tips to Lose Weight Effectively, and Emotional Intuitive Eating. Okay, so we're going to get into day 2 because these are going to be short. All right, so I've been liking to call myself the habit hacker because that is what I am doing with people's minds and behaviors, is because it's something that has been ingrained into us since we've been in. So I want you to think. So what you think you want is weight loss. But what you really should be thinking about is your health should be your main goal. And probably you can't argue with that, but you're always thinking about, I mean, most people are thinking about weight loss, weight loss, weight loss, weight loss. It has to be about weight loss. But it's ultimately, if you're healthy, you'll start to lose weight, right? And that means mind and body, which is why that's what my business is called, is because it has to be both addressed, okay? So what you think you want is to be thin because it will change everything, right? But it won't. It will likely give you more confidence because you learn to love yourself more. But you can still be thin and still hate yourself. So the root is not weight loss, right? So a little perspective there. It's how you love yourself. And when you love yourself, you naturally become more healthy and you make healthy choices. So it's all encompassing. Okay. So when you value and respect your body more, you'll do things in turn that show respect and love to your body. When you're not happy with your body, you're not happy with yourself, you go into a form of self sabotage and self hate, and you start rewarding yourself with food, and that's not the answer. Okay, there's ways around that. So that's neuroscience. Excuse me. So how you talk to yourself every single day and the actions that you take to live a life of passion and purpose will bring you closer to your goal each and every day. We have to do a little bit of work every day in order to create a habit, right? So, what happens more often than not is we get all excited about something, and then all of a sudden we do too much at once, and then boom, it's too hard, it's too overwhelming, and then you quit. Does that sound about right? So, if you're on live, go ahead and say hi, where you're from, thanks for being here. And if you want to watch this on replay, I want you to say hashtag replay, and I will reply to all comments when we are done here. So I want to talk about human behavior now. So this is really important. This is why our brains are lying to us, right? So our conscious brain is 10% about, and that's the thinking brain. And the other part of our brain, the deeper part of our brain, is the subconscious brain, and that's really the one making all of our decisions. And if you think about it, that really sucks because we're all thinking up here on our conscious mind when all of the programming has been done in the conscious mind or in the subconscious mind. So our conscious brain is designed to keep us out of immediate danger. It needs to make quick decisions before it gets all of that information. It can't process it all, right? It can't process all of that information at once. So it has to take what's important, and then everything else that it has seen goes in the subconscious brain and it stores it there, whether you think it does or not. every single experience. Hey, everybody. Hey, James. Hey, Virginia. Thanks for coming. So it's really important that you at least have some sort of acknowledgement that this is happening, because these programs in our brain are running on autopilot, whether you know it or not. And you don't know it most of the time because it's our subconscious brain, right? 'Cause our conscious brain cannot handle all of the information that we stuff in it every second of the day. Okay, so it has to make some generalizations in order to function, right? So again, the main purpose for our conscious brain is to keep us safe. So whatever we did yesterday is the same thing it's going to do today, because yesterday didn't kill you. It likes to stay in a safe zone. It likes to stay in the comfort zone, which is why we go back to our old habits, because it's too hard, right? It doesn't have to be as hard as everybody makes it, but the diet industry makes everything so stinking hard, and we're put into these stupid boxes, and we can't have this, you can't have that. It's like, of course, we're all going to binge and have cravings through the roof, right? Because people are trying to tell us we can't have something all the time. If someone keeps telling me I can't do something and I can't have something, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go try to prove them wrong. And that's what most human behavior is. Some of us are more bold than others, but it's still there running on a program. Okay. We've developed that since we're kids. So let's go. Take a little breath here. I get all excited. Okay. So, what really changes you is to focus on getting healthy mentally and physically. And like I said, the diet industry does not do either of that for us. It's dysfunctional. It's very, very dysfunctional. Even people who, some people who have like bariatric surgery, there's still not enough support there on their psychology, because I read so many posts on a daily basis about people who think that surgery is the answer. And then what happens in about a year from then, post-op, they go right back to their old behaviors, and then they gain all the weight back because they thought that just getting something fixed physically was the answer, when the mental issues were not addressed. Without that being addressed, especially when you have compulsion and obsession, that is a big problem. There's a comment that just came in. Being forgetful at the end of the day, I mean, that's a whole slew of things that could be happening, right? I mean, especially when you were working, right? I would come home completely brain dead from there, right? It was just, it's so much for our brain. We can only handle making so many decisions in a day that we get exhausted. But where that comes into play at the end of the day, and you're not making the best food choices at the end of the day, will be to plan a little bit farther ahead so that you have some success. And that can be even a matter of 5 to 10 minutes. Maybe you need to grab, a small bag of carrots just to get you through the last part of the day, so you're not making the not so great decisions when you get home. So obviously, I don't really know the situation, but that kind of stuff, you don't have enough fuel for your brain, so your brain kind of goes at the end of the day. And a lot of people will call that willpower, but it's not willpower, right? I mean, if we truly valued something for ourselves, we would have all the willpower in the world, but there's something inside of us that is telling us that we don't deserve it, or we can't have it, or something along those lines. But being tired at the end of the day is a slew of different things. Okay, but there is a way to still make healthy choices, even though you're I'll just say, but as tired at the end of the day, because who isn't, right? We're all working all the time. We're stressed out, especially with COVID. We're burnt out. But there is a way around that. So what we should be doing is, again, addressing both. We've got the behaviors, and we've got the actual daily things that are happening, so mental and physical. So you can't out exercise a bad diet, right? Right? I know so many people who try. You work your hiney off for like 60 minutes or do P90X forever, and yeah, maybe you get a little bit buff, right? Because you feel good, you feel strong, maybe you lost some weight. But then the program's over, and then what are you left with? You've literally learned nothing. You literally learned nothing. Maybe you picked up a few exercises, but you don't feel confident that you can do this on autopilot. So that's a mental thing. You're not feeling confident that even though you did a program for a bajillion years and you should know how to do all that stuff, you don't, because you're not confident in doing it. So that's a mental aspect of it. So let's just say it is now time for you to figure out how to dig down deep into all of those old learned behaviors for the new ones. If we created the old ones, we can create new ones. And we want the new ones to serve you, right? Because the old ones no longer serve you because they're running off of the old programming of the past. And they're going to stay that way until the brain is jiggled and allowed to resurface some of those emotions that have happened, right? You may be eating chocolate chip mint ice cream now as an adult every day after, or even not every day, but maybe every day after dinner because you grew up with it and you have a fond memory with your father or your mother or your grandmother eating it. These are the relationships with food that we need to find so then we can rewire them. Okay, again, it comes down to habits, mindset, and daily movement. Those three things need to be addressed for long-term weight loss. And I'll tell you, movement is at the bottom. Exercise is at the bottom of that, unless you have enough time to really add in a lot of exercise. Okay, but those are not exercise is not the key. It's the way you think about your weight loss, how you think about yourself, how you think about the food, and creating habits that benefit you and rewriting the old habits that no longer serve you. Okay. But you need the tools to help you give clarity. So it's why you ate the way you did, why you sabotage yourself, which is, self sabotage really is a yo yo diet, right? Because you try something, it works usually for that short term, and then you quit, and then you feel like shit, and then you try it again because you know it worked before, but then you stop and you feel like shit again, and you do it over and over and over again expecting a different result because it did work at the beginning, but ultimately it didn't work because if it doesn't give you long-term weight loss, then it doesn't work, right? That doesn't work. The only time I think that's even remotely acceptable is if you need to get married and you want to have you want to lose like 15 pounds quick, but you're going into it as a short-term weight loss goal. If you're going into things with long-term weight loss goal and you're doing the quick fixes, there is nothing, it's not going to save you. It's not going to save you. So it comes down to learn how to rewire the old habits by breaking them. And there is science behind this. There are techniques that are used to rewire the thought processes, and it's step by step. And I use those processes in my program. It takes you through point A to point D, and then once that's cleared out, there's more things to work on, right? But it has to be done systematically in small steps for you to be and feel successful and learn the tools long term so that when you're done working with me or any coach, right? I don't care who you work with. I'd obviously love to work with you, but you got to work with who resonates with you, right? But don't feel afraid to reach out for help because this is extremely important. All those components need to be there if you want long term weight loss because our brain is lying to us all of the time. All of the time. Okay. So thank you again for listening. If you're watching on replay, do hashtag replay. And I'm Erica with EG Wellness Body and Mind Transformations, aka the Habit Hacker. So everybody have a great night, and I will see you tomorrow night for the same amount of time. All right, take care. Bye bye.